Coming up on Cronkite NewsWatch.
Honoring fallen heroes, Arizona's legislature is moving forward with a bill that will create a memorial for the Yarnell 19.
Plus, a new report gives insight into the health of Arizonans. We take a closer look at what this says about the state.
And you may have to drive around the block a few more times before you find a parking spot. We'll tell you why.
In-depth, insightful, innovative. Cronkite NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite NewsWatch. I'm Cassie Clapp.
And I'm Clarissa Tapia. Thanks for joining us. It looks like Google is about to make a return to Arizona in a big way.
Today, the tech giant revealed a plan that could bring much more opportunity to the Valley. The announcement was made here on ASU's downtown campus this afternoon.
Cronkite News reporter Hannah Lawrence is live in the First Amendment Forum where the event just wrapped up.
Today's announcement is shoring up the idea that the Valley is becoming the new tech hub in the U.S. At the meeting today, Google announced it has chosen Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Tempe to roll out its new ultra-high-speed Google Fiber network, which will later expand to other cities across the country. Just a few months ago, the mayor of Mesa announced that Apple was moving to one of its facilities in this building. And there was a big hoopla about 2 years ago when the new Intel plant was being built in Chandler, helping to support the nickname of Silicon Valley in the desert. Today's announcement by high-tech company Google will launch the high-speed internet that will speed up the broadband we have right now.
And the reality is that in a changing economic climate, we have to think of high-speed internet as a central component to our community's innovation infrastructure.
And just how fast is this new internet? The 2-hour a video that would normally take 2 hours to download will now take only 36 seconds. The technology is now only available in Kansas City and Provo, Utah, but will take a few months to roll out in the Valley. Live in the First Amendment Forum, Hannah Lawrence, Cronkite News.
Today, the House Appropriations Committee met to vote on the budget for a $500,000 memorial honoring 19 hotshots lost in the Yarnell Hill fire. Cronkite News reporter Brittany Bade just got back from the meeting and has the latest. Brittany?
Thanks, Cassie. On June 30th, all of Arizona mourned as reports about the fallen 19 members of the Granite Mountain hotshot crew began to surface. Temporary memorials were put up throughout Yarnell and surrounding cities, but today the House Appropriation Committee passed the $500,000 budget 8-1 that will create a permanent memorial. House Bill 2624 will replace the temporary memorials with the Yarnell Hill Memorial State Park at the site where the 19 hotshots lost their lives. There are no physical plans for the design of the memorial yet, but Yarnell residents and community leaders are hoping for a small way for the town to remember their friends and family.
The residents of Yarnell and Prescott and the families, they're going to be all a part of this committee to decide what is appropriate for that site.
This bill just passed the committee and now moves on through the House. Representative Fan says the memorial will likely be something small. She gave the example of 19 crosses. So when the friends and family of the hotshots leave their homes every day, they will remember their fallen firefighters. Live in the Broadcast Center, Brittany Bade, Cronkite News.
Wildfire season here in Arizona is typically still a few weeks away, but a small burn area has already popped up. Cronkite News reporter Shane Dwyer found out while that fire was easily contained, it's a possible sign of things to come.
We have to recognize patterns.
National Weather Service forecaster Mark O'Malley has noticed a pattern recently in Arizona.
We have been unseasonably dry.
A pattern that could be bad news for the state.
This year, our fire season may actually occur earlier because we've not had the amount of rain that we normally have.
Along the banks of the Salt River, you can still smell and see the effects of this small fire from earlier in the week.
Unseasonably high temperatures, low rates of precipitation, and trash left behind, like these cigarette butts, has firefighters and park officials worried that this small but early in the season fire could be a sign of bad things to come.
Past years where we've had dry winters, yeah, we could see a larger amount of fires starting than we would typically expect.
As the fire chief of the Tonto National Forest, Clay Templin works with data from O'Malley to plan for the upcoming wildfire season. one that may be making an early appearance.
If it continues staying warm and dry as the season goes on, yeah, it's going to be a greater propensity for fires and possibly larger fires as well.
And that concerns weather officials.
We normally see this pattern every year for a couple weeks. This year, it's just persisted for months.
And while neither Templin nor O'Malley can control the weather, they can work together.
Weather is key when fighting a fire.
To make sure everyone is kept safe.
You know, we always think about the safety of our firefighters and the public.
In the Tonto National Forest, I'm Shane Dwyer, Cronkite News.
The National Forest Service stressed that visitors to the parks are the first line of defense. You can help reduce the risk by following park restrictions and making sure campfires are completely put out.
A new report on our state's public health is uncovering details on why Arizonans get sick and how they die. Cronkite News reporter Crystal Story is live in downtown Phoenix with a breakdown of the report.
The Arizona Department of Health Services unveiled this report after an 18-month-long survey process. Arizonans in all 15 counties took part in the report through their public health departments. The report shows the #1 killer in Arizona, healthcare-associated infections, usually caused through catheters or ventilators after a patient is receiving care. But when it comes to public health threats, obesity and tobacco are the top 2 issues. Almost 40% of residents in Greenlee County and about a third of La Paz County qualified as obese, while Mojave and Gila counties rank highest for adult tobacco use. The state health director blames one key factor.
Number one driver of public health outcomes is income. And it's really a social determinant. And the fewer resources that people have, the fewer opportunities they have to make better choices.
Humble also told me this is a 2-step project, and now that they have this information, they're going to individualize the help they give to each individual county. Live in downtown Phoenix, Crystal Story, Cronkite News.
Housing construction rates are down in Arizona for the second month in a row. The Commerce Department has reported that in January, the construction rate fell 16% and in December fell 4.8%. Experts say the severe winter weather moving across the country is to blame for the decrease. An overall increase in construction is expected for the rest of the year.
And housing construction rates may be going down, but the economy is on the rise. Reporter Kimberly Hariza is here with more on the surprising side effect of the economic boost.
The nation's economy is growing, and that's why some divorce lawyers may be a little bit busier. A new study by sociologist Philip N. Cohen says that as the economy rebounds, so do divorce rates.
Faye and Frederick Hine have been married for 66 years.
His age is 95, my age is 91.
And their marriage has truly survived for richer and for poor.
The recession, the one bad one we had, hit me, wiped me out.
A new study confirms that the economy is a major culprit in why people get divorced. But it's the good times when more people split up.
A University of Maryland sociologist says that as the economy grows, so does the divorce rate. More people started filing for divorce nationwide in 2010 when the economy rebounded. This was no surprise for divorce lawyers.
A lot of people just, they've been together and they want to get divorced, but they don't have the money. And, they've been holding out for, possibly years.
The housing crisis forced a lot of people to stay together because they just couldn't sell their homes. The study says that the same trend was observed during the Great Depression. Faye and Frederick lived through that era.
But because we were in love and we started with zero, we made it. We did things together. I made a success of a few things. So it's been a wonderful marriage.
A marriage that has flourished in all economic cycles.
Arizona has one of the highest divorce rates in the country. That's according to a survey last year by the American Community Survey. And the town of Sierra Vista was ranked second for U.S. divorce capitals. More than 13% of Sierra Vista's population are divorcees. Kimberly Hariza, Cronkite News.
Coming up on NewsWatch.
Phoenix man is breathing new life into an iconic piece of Tempe's history. I'll show you what he's doing coming up.
You may want to think twice before making your fantasy football draft for now. We'll tell you why coming up.
NewsWatch is one of the really big things I will always remember for the rest of my life.
You're lugging around all of your equipment, you are doing all of the work, and that's what makes it so fulfilling to me.
Being an anchor, I think it's a privilege. I enjoy every moment of it.
Seeing your show on air, it is one of the most surreal feelings ever.
What if we could unlock every mystery?
We're at the beginning of a revolution. That's a huge discovery.
That's never been done before, ever, anywhere.
No one feeds on curiosity like PBS. Give to your PBS station so future generations can keep asking, what if?
I am a chef. I cook for a living. And I think of PBS as a window to the world. That kind of place where you feel you are part of the story. I want to be part of every possible world is out there. That's when things become really amazing. And when you are able to see stories that make you wonder, makes you think, that's what really makes PBS so meaningful. And that's the kind of TV we need to be supporting today.
An Arizona House committee approved a bill today to pay back Glendale for police and fire costs during next year's Super Bowl. With 347 days until the next big game, the bill was approved 6-1 and promises up to $2 million if passed to cities for major sporting events. House Majority Leader David Gowan says events like the Super Bowl benefit the entire state. There is an online petition against the bill saying it's unfair to people who do not live in Glendale. The 2015 Super Bowl will be played in the University of Phoenix Stadium.
A bill to legalize fantasy football and other online sports competitions in Arizona got a green light in a Senate committee today. Fantasy sports are played by millions of Americans, but Arizona is one of 5 states where it's illegal to collect money or win prizes from playing. SB 1468, heard in the Senate Commerce, Energy, and Military Committee this morning, would exclude fantasy sports from the state's current definition of gambling.
We want the residents of the state of Arizona to be able to play fantasy sports games, be able to win prizes for their performance, and enjoy a hobby that they are probably already playing and just unable to collect a prize on.
The law as it stands now makes it a Class 5 felony to promote fantasy sports and a Class 1 misdemeanor to collect winnings from it. The bill to legalize fantasy sports still has a couple more steps before it moves on for a full Senate vote.
An iconic piece of Tempe's history is coming back to life, but it may not be what you expect. I spoke with Charles Hayden's great-granddaughter about the family's legacy and its future. You may see this building every day. If not, you probably still recognize it. The Hayden Flour Mill was built in 1874 to fill a need.
There were so many people in the valley who grew grain, the Indians, and there was no one to mill it.
With the accessibility of the Salt River, Catherine Hayden's great-grandfather thought Tempe would be a great place to build a mill, and he stepped up to the challenge.
No, he did not come from a family of millers at all. I don't know what possessed him to do this, but I think it was just the opportunity.
And another opportunity is exactly what's driving another entrepreneur to bring this name into the 21st century. Jeff Zimmerman was looking for a name when he stumbled across some of Tempe's history.
In searching for ancient heritage grains, I came across some articles about early Arizona.
And while this building isn't going anywhere, the same doesn't go for the name. He liked Charles Hayden's story so much, he wanted to name his business Hayden Flour Mills. The new company supplies flour to several different restaurants and stores in the valley and is moving into a larger space later this year. The new Hayden Flour Mills supplies flour to several different restaurants and stores in the valley and is moving into a larger space later this year. And now Catherine Hayden says she hopes that the Hayden Flour Mill itself will also see a renaissance.
I think it needs a bucket load of money, but it does have protected status, so it won't be torn down.
The restoration of the Hayden name, meanwhile, is already in progress. As the name lives on with Hayden Flour Mills, you can catch up on the history at the museum in front of the mill in Tempe, while the city of Tempe searches for a better way to preserve the landmark.
Coming up on NewsWatch.
The city of Phoenix is ripping out more than 400 parking meters, but that doesn't mean you'll park for free.
And things are finally heating up in the Northeast, but that's not the case here. I'll have your full forecast coming up next.
NewsWatch is one of the really big things I will always remember for the rest of my life.
You're lugging around all of your equipment, you are doing all of the work, and that's what makes it so fulfilling to me.
Being an anchor, I think it's a privilege. I enjoy every moment of it.
Seeing your show on air, it is one of the most surreal feelings ever.
What if we could unlock every mystery?
We're at the beginning of a revolution. That's a huge discovery.
That's never been done before, ever, anywhere.
Touchdown confirmed.
No one feeds on curiosity like PBS. Give to your PBS station so future generations can keep asking, what if?
I am a chef. I cook for a living. And I think of PBS as a window to the world. That kind of place where you feel you are part of the story. I want to be part of every possible world is out there. That's when things become really amazing. And when you are able to see stories that make you wonder, makes you think, that's what really makes PBS so meaningful. And that's the kind of TV we need to be supporting today.
If you are looking for free parking down near the Capitol, we have some good news for you. Cronkite News reporter Tweelon Nugent is live in downtown Phoenix with details on what this could mean for drivers.
Here in the main part of downtown Phoenix, not much is going to change, but some new parking meters in other areas could mean parking is cheaper for everyone. Parking is hard to find in the Phoenix area. Frequent visitors know this all too well.
I am downtown probably twice a week.
Jay Harris knows he can't park for free, so he's learned to embrace what Phoenix has to offer and how he pays for his parking.
Utilizing these pay systems with a credit card helps us because we don't have to carry change. It allows us to get show a receipt from when we do expense our charges. So I love the pay meter, especially the credit card option.
If you have to pay for parking, the easiest way is to pay with a credit card instead of a handful of change. But the real challenge is finding a spot in the first place.
We're switching out meters in some cases and adding these, and in other areas where we're moving older meters that we're just not generating enough revenue.
The city of Phoenix recently removed 465 coin-operated meters like these and will replace them with 110 credit card-friendly meters and 12 new pay stations. The city hopes the new meters will bring in more revenue than the coin meters did, since some of the meters hardly made any money because people just wouldn't pay with coins.
It could be nickels a day, literally that low.
For downtown visitors like Harris, he's glad the city is replacing most of the coin meters they've taken out because he thinks paying in coin is
old school. It's not the times today.
They've changed out the meters and put more free parking near the Capitol. The parking meter project is expected to be finished by the end of March and will cost the city about $455,000. Live in downtown Phoenix, Tweelon Nugent, Cronkite News.
Good afternoon. We take a look at the satellite radar. We can see a few storm systems moving through the country right now. A storm in the northeast moved through earlier, bringing a mix because of that warmer temperatures. And they're finally seeing warmer temperatures up in the northeast. They're seeing about 46 degrees tomorrow in the Boston area. But that's not the only storm that we're seeing in the country right now. Arizona's going to get a storm of their own. As you can see, a few clouds moved through earlier as this low pressure system is moving down through this way. And in the next couple of days, this cold front is going to drop down, bringing temperatures down into the upper 70s, which may seem cold.
cold, but it's really not that cold at all. And then we're also going to see some wind speeds with this. 22-mile-per-hour winds in Flagstaff right now. Prescott, 28 miles per hour, but we're pretty lucky right now in Phoenix. We're only at 8 miles per hour. And with a lot of these winds, we're going to see a lot of allergies as well. I've heard plenty of people talking about their allergies today. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to see high pollen counts. So if you're going to have any of those allergies, you might want to stay indoors. And looking into tonight's temperatures, 54 degrees in Phoenix, 29 in Prescott, 16 degrees in the Grand Canyon, and below freezing temperatures of much of northern Arizona. And for the highs tomorrow, we're going to see 76 degrees in Phoenix, 47 degrees in Flagstaff. And then looking into the 5-day forecast for the next couple of days, Thursday, Friday, upper 70s, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're going to go back into those 80s. A few clouds will pop in on the weekend, but overall, it's going to be a beautiful week. Jamie Purvis, Cronkite Weather.
Coming up on Newswatch.
The Sochi Winter Games are winding down, but Olympic hockey is heating up. Plus, the All-Star break is over and the Suns are back in action. They went to Denver to take on the Nuggets. I've got the full Happy Meal for you next in sports.
A tradition of excellence, integrity, and innovation.
The second I came in, I fell in love with the program.
The Cronkite School propels students into the new era of journalism.
Students are learning.
Digital, entrepreneurial, and collaborative labs encourage students to shape the future of the industry, and the industry is watching.
We have come here to meet with students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism.
The Cronkite School, the journalism school for the digital age.
What if television could sweep us away to another time and place?
Very nice, my lady.
And could take us from the Gilded Age to the Great War. From the heat of the chase to the heart of a queen. No one tells stories like PBS. Give to your PBS station and help bring stories like these to life. What if television could remember the heroes we honored, the music we danced to, the dreams we chased?
The hope still lives and the dream shall never die.
No one tells our nation's story like PBS. Give to your PBS station and help bring America's story to life.
The men's quarterfinals continued in Sochi, and so much for home court, or in this case, home ice advantage, as Finland eliminated the Russians 3-1. As for the U.S., they just came off the ice against the Czech Republic. The Americans continued their hot shooting and were able to capitalize on power plays and torch the Czechs 5-2. Ryan Suter led the way with 3 assists, and LA King Jonathan Quick had another solid performance between the pipes with 21 saves on 23 shots. And here's a look at the remaining bracket. The semis kick off Friday. The U.S. will take on rival Canada, who beat Latvia 2-1, and that's really what we all wanted to see. The rematch of last year's Olympic gold medal game. The winner will head to the gold medal match and face the winner between Finland and Sweden. Speaking of gold medals, the Americans grabbed another when Ted Ligety finished with the fastest time in the giant slalom. But that wasn't the only hardware the U.S. took home today. Elena Myers and former Summer Olympian medalist Lauren Williams grabbed silver, and the U.S. also took bronze in the women's bobsledding event. And that's the way it's supposed to look. USA on top in both the gold and overall medal count. Getting the medal is not the final step for all these Olympic athletes, but it definitely isn't the most important, especially for those who dream big. Cronkite sports reporter Jamie Purvis went to Flagstaff and found kids who are inspired to try something new.
Everyone can agree that the best part of being on the slopes is going down this. Sean strapped on his first pair of skis, a little bit nervous, but with his instructor's help, he took to the slopes like a future Olympian.
It was really fun.
Just like Sean, many Arizonans get their start up at Snowball in Flagstaff, including some Olympic coaches.
I have? Well, I think that's really cool.
The current head coach of U.S. Olympic snowboarding, free skiing, halfpipe, and slopestyle teams took his very first lesson here.
That's Mike Jankowski, and he actually rode his very first chairlift right here at Arizona Snowball.
Jankowski works with superstar Shaun White, who just happens to be Sean's favorite Olympic athlete.
He's a really good snowboarder.
But Snowball's famous coaches don't stop at the halfpipe. Head coach of the U.S. men's Olympic alpine team, Phil McNichol, also made his first tracks in the snow in Flagstaff. He is known for leading Ted Ligety, Bodie Miller, and other athletes to gold medals and World Cup wins.
He's one of the most successful alpine coaches in U.S. Olympic history. And again, he cut his teeth as a snowboard instructor.
As for Sean, he thinks it's pretty cool he is learning to ski on the same slopes as Olympians and hopes to one day become another star athlete from Flagstaff.
I want to try to snowboard too.
And by the looks of these slopes, he is not alone. In Flagstaff, Jamie Purvis, Cronkite Sports.
Every 4 years, ski resorts see an increase because of the Winter Olympics, and with the Sochi Games going on, this season is no different, although it would definitely help if Flagstaff got some more snow. From high-pressure Olympic events to high-altitude basketball, the Suns returned from the All-Star break and went to Denver to take on the Nuggets. Join the action late in the game. Suns down by 2 with a chance to tie. Channing Frye's shot goes off the rim. PJ Tucker keeps it alive, finds one of the Morai twins. Hard to find out which one it is. Tied the game 99 going into overtime. 2 minutes in, Gerald Green with the ball. Denver wants to switch, misses the memo, and it's takeoff time. Takes advantage of that high altitude. He had a career high 36 points, and here's J.J. Hickson's 3 to tie. It's no good. Suns win 112-107. With the win, the Suns move a half game ahead of the Warriors and stand alone in the 6th seed. They return home tonight to take on the Celtics. Tip-off at 7 p.m.
You know, I'm really surprised. A lot of people didn't think that the Suns were going to make it really far, and now with the 6th seed, I think if they keep playing the way that they're going to...
They got it locked up. They're the surprise story of the NBA by far.
I feel like now we have to go see one of their games, guys.
Absolutely.
And they're playing my Celtics tonight. I'm missing out.
Well, let's go. All right, well, that's it for Cronkite NewsWatch tonight. We are always on the web. Just head to CronkiteNewsOnline.com.
Thanks for joining us. Good night.